Okay, today we're playing a game on Hollywood. We're in the Platinum SR range, and we will be playing Reinhardt on defense and Zenyatta on attack. And our current team composition is Reinhardt, D.Va, Junkrat, Sombra, Mercy, and Ana. Things to be sad about. No Zarya, no Hanzo, no Zenyatta. As is the case for basically all games these days, because it turns out Hanzo and Zarya are really strong. Zarya mostly because Hanzo is really strong right now, and turns out Zenyatta's really strong because Hanzo and Zarya are really strong right now. And that's how meta games work. So let's start the game. So we're defending first. Junkrat's off doing his own thing. That's cool. We don't see Sombra for basically the entire first checkpoint, as you would reasonably expect from a stealth hero, to be fair. So they're just kind of trying to run in directly under us. We try to pin the Reinhardt. It doesn't really work out. And then we almost get pinned in retribution. Don't really recommend going for the pin from this angle, just because, like, it's really hard to pin somebody, like, point blank, because the hitbox gets, like, really fucked up when you're right next to the person. And we also will end up going, like, really far away from our team, pinning them over on that wall over there. And if they've got, like, a Bridget, like they do right there, it can get turned around on you pretty quickly if you overextend into the enemy team. So Reinhardt just pinned and killed Mercy, which is, of course, bad. We did not countercharge the Reinhardt, and that's why you always countercharge the Reinhardt, because even if you can get out of the way, well, Mercy behind you might not get out of the way, and Mercy dying is pretty bad. Now, the other healer is Ana, so we do still have a main healer here, but it just sort of all starts going downhill from that point on, really. Always countercharge. Even if you can get out of the way, you don't know if everyone behind you is going to get out of the way. And if Mercy gets pinned and killed, that's pretty bad. Especially if your team comp, like, isn't bad, and your other healer is like Zenyatta, and your Mercy gets pinned, you basically lost the fight at that point, because then your main healer's dead. So we lost the first checkpoint. It's not the end of the world. It's Hollywood. You can feasibly win on any of the 3 checkpoints on this map, and that's why it's actually a well-balanced map, unlike something like Numbani, which is ridiculously hard checkpoint, ridiculously easy checkpoint, ridiculously hard checkpoint. In terms of defending, like ridiculously attacking, ridiculously hard to attack, ridiculously easy to attack, and ridiculously hard to attack. So they just all got emped, so we immediately go in. Oh, we're on the console today, by the way. I forgot. I completely forgot. We are on the console today. So Sombra goes in and Ems. Unfortunately, we don't have our ultimate ready to go. We end up pinning D.Va, but we are, like, right next to Reinhardt still, and D.Va does, like, a lot of damage to you as Reinhardt, being as that she's got 2 automatic shotguns on her mech. It doesn't matter, because they were emped, they were unable to retaliate, really, until it was basically all over, because the tire also killed people. So we did see that they basically all had their ultimates, which is not surprising given the way the last team fight went. We know Reinhardt's got his ultimate, but we can infer that anyway, based off of how the last team fight went, and Earthshatter being really easy to charge. So we have to be afraid of that. Their Bridget's just used her ultimate, so they're going to try and go in right now. And Reinhardt is... You gotta be really ready for it. If you're gonna try and Earthshatter off the Bridget, stunning the Reinhardt, you basically have to Earthshatter as soon as you see Bridget start charging, which requires a lot of faith in the Bridget, really, doesn't it? Like, you have to see her start charging and know it's gonna hit. Because if you, like, wait to see if it connects, the wind-up on Earthshatter is too long. You actually won't get them, and then it turns back around on them immediately. We pin Bridget. She dies to the explosion regardless. They lost both their healers on that, so they're fucked, basically. Their Reinhardt lost his ultimate. It's basically very bad for them. Trying to pin the Genji is really optimistic and unlikely to work, but also we weren't going to catch him anyway, so might as well try, I suppose, at the same time. Yeah, if you're gonna try and Earthshatter off your Bridget stunning the enemy Reinhardt, you have to, like, as soon as you see Bridget start using Shield Bash, you have to push it. The stun is not long enough to wait to see if it connects, and then use it. Granted, shield bashing the enemy Reinhardt's not exactly hard to do, is it? So we heard Genji start using Dragon Blade, and then we pinned him, and now he's dead, so he's upset about that one. We then get pinned by Reinhardt. We got a lot of shit happening at this point. Like, Reinhardt's over there, we're trying to block Pharah, we end up getting pinned. We didn't have our charge, so we couldn't countercharge him anyway. We just saw he's got Earth Shatter as well, because he just got hacked, so that's scary, because we're not there to block it right now. So hopefully our team has the presence of mind to split up. If you don't have a Reinhardt there to block, and the enemy Reinhardt has Earth Shatter, just split up. The Reinhardt is not going to Earth Shatter one dude, unless he's, like, really fucking hates you and is particularly vindictive. So just split up, and he is unlikely to use Earth Shatter at that point. We pinned the D.Va. Don't think we actually needed to pin the D.Va. I think she was low enough we could have just beaten her to death right there and then as well. But also, why risk it at the same time? The pin will take her out of mech. And at that point, she's basically dead. Their Reinhardt still has his Earth Shatter, I believe. I don't think he used it during that fight. Well, they got emped at the start, so he couldn't have used it, could he? We're pretty close to... Well, I mean, we're halfway towards having ours again, but that's pretty close by Reinhardt standards, honestly. So, he shouldn't have gone for the Earth Shatter in that position, but it's worth knowing, like, how Reinhardt players are. Like, he shouldn't do that Earth Shatter. But I'm also not at all remotely surprised that he did. In fact, I expect it. Because Reinhardt players don't like getting pinned, you know? Oddly enough. And it's pretty common, actually, if you pin the enemy Reinhardt while he's got Earth Shatter, he'll immediately try and Earth Shatter you to turn it back around on you. So, like, we dodge that, and step out of the way and then beat him to death. But, like, just hold your shield up on, like... Hold the shield up on the dude for like half a second after you pin him, just to see if he's gonna do it. Because they do probably like 75% of the time. Like, they don't like being pinned. Shockingly enough, they try to Earth Shatter you immediately afterwards to turn it back around, very often. They shouldn't, like, it almost never actually works out, they shouldn't. But they do a lot, and sometimes it does work, and just like holding your shield up for the extra half second doesn't really hurt you in any way. So, why take the risk, basically? It's a lot about what Reinhardt's about, like, mitigating risk. It's like, sometimes you're beating on the enemy Reinhardt, like 6v1. Just hold the shield up on the Reinhardt anyway, because he might Earth Shatter all 6 people and kill your team. Like, it might happen. Why even take the risk? Because sometimes it does happen, and then it doesn't feel good. So our team are, like, real scattered right now. And, at this point, I wouldn't Earth Shatter anymore. Like, we've basically lost that team fight. Earth Shatter wasn't particularly good regardless, but, like, at that point, it's not even worth trying to use it, because, like, half our team just died behind us. So unless we're gonna hit all 6 people and, like, kill a bunch of them, it's not gonna work out. Better off just saving it. So they caught the second checkpoint. Not the end of the world. Third checkpoint is probably the hardest checkpoint to catch on Hollywood. Unless you just get to snowball through it, because sometimes the enemy team staggers themselves mad hard on the third checkpoint, you just kind of get to push it through. If that doesn't happen, it's pretty hard to capture. So, they've got a pretty divey team comp at this point, with the Winston coming in at us right here, and the Pharah, and they also have D.Va as well, so they're a dive comp at this point. Not the end of the world for Reinhardt, but certainly is harder to keep up with. We see they have a lot of ultimates right now. 2 of them are dead currently. D.Va isn't actually dead, but she's lost her mech, which is basically dead by D.Va standards. It's a mess of a team fight, isn't it? Like, there's just a lot of shit going on. I'm trying to work out how Moira even died. I guess Farah's behind us? No, Farah's right there. I guess you just managed to pick her. Oh no, Moira's... No, that's Sombra. Where the fuck was Moira? There she is. She's under us. Okay, found Moira. I was like, how did Moira even die? I guess she got picked off by a rocket. Feels bad, man. Moira's bad. So they did end up losing quite a bit of momentum right at the start of that push, so even though they've killed a bunch of us, we're actually going to manage to regroup, because they didn't wipe us convincingly enough to just push straight through. So we do have Earth Shatter. Their team comp being as it is, will be difficult for us to get a particularly good Earth Shatter on them, and that's basically like what we're looking to do, because the fight's not going great. So I wouldn't go around this way, because realistically it's going to be hard to get an Earth Shatter from this angle, because you're just coming up on them for like this like narrow little passage. They're going to be like rushing forward this way or backing up that way, and your angle is just not going to be that good, honestly. You'll be like... You're probably going to go through, like, the center of them and, like, catch people in the middle, but, like, all the people up here and all the people back there, you won't be able to catch with it. If you just go around the right-hand side of the camper, RV, your Earth Shatter will go, like, the entire fucking area and, like, catch everybody over here, rather than, like, that's just a better angle than that. Just because of the way the enemy team is going to be positioned, because they're going to be like, they're a dive comp, don't forget, so they're going to be rushing forward. If they're long range, they're going to be staying back. Far is going to be in the sky, so that is a lot worse than that, basically. It's a bit of an exaggeration on the sides of the hitbox, but you get the idea. It's just a better angle, and we have Earth Shatter right now, is what we're trying to get. So, like, you see, we come up on them right there, and, like... we can hit, like, a couple people, but then they start spreading out almost immediately. If we're just coming on them, like, head-on, we could catch all those people still, as well as Moira. Realistically, probably doesn't matter. Our team get killed pretty soundly as soon as we get here. But we didn't even get to use the Earth Shatter. And, you know, getting to use your ultimate is a pretty big deal in Overwatch, especially when your ultimate is as good as Earth Shatter is. So I think I can finally go back over here now. Or there, because I couldn't be here because the shield was there. And if you're over here with Reinhardt, he's got an extra little button there, so you end up covering up the cooldown on charge. Let's not fuck up the entire thing, though, if at all possible. What a professional operation we run around these parts. So we've entered the Zenyatta phase of the game right now. And the email didn't really have much in the way of particular things being looked for, but Discord targeting was specifically mentioned for Zenyatta. So we'll try and keep an eye on that. I've heard there's so many different opinions on who is the highest priority target to Discord. For my money, I'd rather Discord a squishy target, because somebody, like, there's, like, the argument, do you Discord a tank or do you Discord a squishier target first? I prefer to Discord the squishy targets first, just because then, like, they get one shot by shit, basically. Like, yeah, a tank gets made pretty squishy. I'd rather make an already squishy person extremely squishy, because then a bunch of things just randomly kill them, which can be very difficult to account for. Whereas a tank, you know, you still have to actually work them over a little bit. But I've heard so many, like, different arguments about who to Discord first. Though the Pharah, #1 priority, always. I don't think you can possibly debate that one. It's like, person who is out of position, Pharah, squishy, tank, as far as I'm concerned. Support, ideally, but just, like, squishy target. So, we want to have our orbs up at all times. I thought Harmony Orb fell off during that. No, I guess I'm crazy. No, I'm crazy. Okay. We are kind of close to them, but that's just kind of how this checkpoint is that you kind of end up being pretty close to the enemy team. We would like to keep the Harmony Orb on people who are likely to be flanking, because it stays on them out of line of sight for 3 seconds. 3 seconds is a pretty long time, as it turns out. Harmony Orb's fallen off. I'm pointing at the wrong side. Harmony Orb's fallen off, so we want that on somebody real quick. Cancel the animation. Good times. Pharah, hopefully, is going to be hanging out with Mercy most of the time, so we hopefully don't have to put the Harmony Orb on her too much. But at the same time, if the Pharah's got Harmony Orb and Mercy on her, it's really hard for her to die at the same time. Especially since, like, people are bad. I don't know if you've noticed, people in Overwatch are pretty bad at actually killing people. It's sort of an issue that they have. So we're basically just, like, waiting for our team to really do something, and all we can do in the meantime is just sort of shoot at the enemy team. This is the way with supports. There isn't a lot for us to do except just sort of fill space, whereas about as far back as we reasonably can be on this checkpoint. We're not really being pressured. All we can really do is just try and, like, shoot people and wait and hope for something to happen, basically. Something did indeed happen, but it was not beneficial to our team, so that's going to be some more time just waiting around. We do have Transcendence built up. That's cool. They don't really have any ultimates for us to negate, though, with it. So, because that's Junkrat, and the other DPS is... Who is their other DPS? Because, you know, I've seen Junkrat a lot. I don't think, like, I've really seen their other DPS, really. Torbjorn. There you go. That one. Yeah, they don't really have any ultimates to negate. The only ultimate we feasibly can negate with their team is Earthshatter. So we'll probably end up just using it to, like, heal up a bunch of people if they get low in a team fight. Though the way things have been going presently... Oh, feels bad, man. The way that things have been going presently, we haven't had the opportunity to do that either, because basically, like, people keep getting picked off, but they're on our team, not the enemy team, which makes it difficult to actually do anything, because it turns out... Look, Mercy's dead right now. Right as the rest of us are regrouping. Great, main healer dies right as the rest of our team arrives. It's pretty much as perfect as it can get. So Farah, way too far up. She shouldn't be that, you know, nearer, Farah, wherever you are. I've seen, like, an image of that, so that's a really high-quality meme I stole right there, as you can see. So Reaper just killed people. Hooray, thank goodness, something actually happened. We've got Transcendence. Their Reinhardt's still alive, so, be ready to hit the Transcendence button. Oh, God, I don't want you to do it. I don't want you to do it. Like, I don't... He kills you in one swing. Like, if he starts swinging as you're coming around the corner, he might kill you. I don't like it. I don't like the risk, because seeing as we have Transcendence, like, dying would be really bad. It was gonna be unlikely we die. I'm not about the extraneous risk, though. I'd rather, like be like, why even chance it, though? Why even chance that we die to Reinhardt? Yeah, so, if, you've got Transcendence. Transcendence can negate Earthshatter, so be ready to smash Transcendence on reaction to Earthshatter starting up, because if you push Transcendence, you're immune to CC, other than Pim, so you don't get knocked down. And Reinhardt's gonna try to pin somebody through the Transcendence, but you're invulnerable while you're using Transcendence, so... It's very upsetting what I just saw happen right there. You're invulnerable during Transcendence, so you just go forward and take the pin for whoever he tries to kill. And then, bam, Earthshatter didn't do anything. It's very upsetting when it happens. So he tried to Earthshatter, and everybody just kind of walked around it. So that's very sad for him. I would push Transcendence now, because Zarya will survive the initial pin, and... I don't want her to die. They don't have any other ultimates we can really negate, because their DPS have been Junkrat and Torbjorn. Torbjorn might be somebody else by now. No, he's still Torbjorn. So they don't have any ultimates to negate other than Earthshatter. So it's possible Zarya dies regardless, because if she, like, gets shot before she smacks into the wall, she'll die. But if she doesn't get shot before she gets pinned, the Transcendence will probably keep her alive. And there's, like, not much for us to hold on to Transcendence for. They don't have a Dragon Blade or a Graviton of their own or anything to negate, so we can use it just to, like, make sure people don't die during team fights. Managed to kill the tire with the charged shot. Feels good, man. When you're playing Zenyatta, you just want to have a look at the enemy team right at the start and be like, okay, so... what ultimates do they have that I need to negate? And they'll probably have, like, a Dragon Blade or Zarya or something like that. You know, because, like, the big ones to try and null out with Transcendence are Graviton, Dragon Blade, Tac Visor, Barrage as well. Sometimes you can do it, though not always. Barrage is that way. if they don't have, like, that kind of ultimate, or Earth Shatter as well, if they don't have, like, those kinds of ultimates, you can just use it in a team fight to heal people up if they get low, and to try and make sure, like, 1 or 2 people don't die if they fuck up, basically. They do have a soldier now, but he's only just changed to soldier, so he's, like, nowhere close to having his ultimate right now. So I'd probably use Transcendence, like, right around here. Just to try, like, definitely to try and save Orissa's life. Because, again, we don't have anything to save it for in particular, so it's better to just try and make sure that Orissa doesn't die. We use it now, but, like, at this point it doesn't do much. It does cover Mercy trying to res Orissa. I would have just rather used it to make sure Orissa doesn't die at all, because covering for the res is one thing. You've already lost the momentum off of it, though, right? Because you have to res the person, which, like, really kills off your momentum if they die. Appropriately enough, getting killed kind of kills your momentum. And, you know, they had a soldier. We do want to null that ultimate. He just changed, so he's nowhere close to having his ultimate. The Reinhardt used Earth Shatter not that long ago. It's, you can use it just to try and save people in that position. The big thing about Zenyatta is Transcendence negating ultimates, but not every team actually has those ultimates. If they're like, Junkrat and, because the tire, you can't save people from the tire with, if it's like Junkrat Tracer, something like that, Transcendence doesn't save people from those ultimates either, so you can just use it to, like, fix 1 or 2 people's mistakes during a team fight. Yeah, so now that I've repeated myself a good 8 or 9 times, you know, I think I've gotten the point across. So, I can't think of huge overarching issues. The thing that stood out the most with Reinhardt was really just the time we didn't countercharge somebody and it resulted in Mercy dying. Like, I think about that and I'm just like, oh, that felt bad, man. Earth Shatters weren't, like, fantastic either, but we didn't get to use very many of them either at the same time, so, you know. And Zenyatta, it's mostly just how long we sat on that Transcendence for. Like, we sat on the same Transcendence the entire round, didn't we, actually? We only used 1 Transcendence that entire time. Because we built it up there. And then we didn't use it. Because we didn't use it there. We didn't use it here. We didn't use it there. Yeah, we sat on this same Transcendence the entire round. We could have built up, like, 2 or 3 other Transcendences in that same period of time. Like, yeah, alright, for the first checkpoint, there was never really a time to use it because the entire team was getting staggered, basically, and getting picked off, so there was never really a time to use Transcendence in this area, just because of the way our team was acting, but, like, there were opportunities to use it in the second checkpoint. Like, if we used it to try and save Zarya right at the start, we would have definitely been able to build up another one by the time this situation comes around at the end there. So, we could have used Transcendence an extra 1 time during this, bare minimum, and, like, getting to use your ultimate more times during a game usually results in you having a higher percentage chance of winning that game. So that's, like, the thing that stood out the most on Zenyatta. I felt like the Discord business was fine. Maybe moved it around a little bit too much, because ideally you set it on, like, the highest priority target and kind of let it stay there to try and kill the person. Because that's the point of them being the highest priority target. We want them dead, so we leave the Discord on there. So, like, maybe we moved it around a little bit too much, but I felt like that wasn't really that much of a particular issue. I'm just more upset by how long we sat on the Transcendence, and there just wasn't really much reason to sit on it for that long versus that particular team comp. So, anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you did, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer. If you haven't already, you can join our Discord and ask questions more directly and have a conversation about them, or just shitpost with us, and I hope you found the video helpful.